Hello, buddy, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent D'Alton. And geez, what a round of footy we just witnessed. We witnessed our first draw of the season, and what was reported today was it was an average winning margin this week of 10.33 points across the whole round. That is amazing. So as we mentioned that we saw the draw. We saw a couple ones go down to the wire, which we 100% will touch on. But if you're listening to this, guys, and you're not already following, please make sure you click that follow button on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And on all of them, make sure you've got the notification bell so you don't miss a chance when we upload. And leave a 5-star rating so we can help get this show out there. Just to touch on, if it's your first time listening to the review episode of the week, I do 2 a week review and a preview. So what we go over in the review is we go over each game, then we rank them all on a tier list. We'll go over that tier list in a second. And I've been meaning, and I'll give like my views on the game. I've been forgetting, I got some feedback about forgetting to do the Supercoach results of the Up the Guts competition. So shout out to Connor because he's, the reason he's annoyed that I haven't been talking about it is because he's been winning and he's on a bit of a hot streak. But we will touch on that, who scored the highest scoring, who got the highest score, which team got the highest score from the competition for the round, as at the end of the season, the highest scoring across the highest score that was scored across the whole competition, that person will win an extra, it was 50 or 100 I did. So always do that. So without further ado, let's get into I'll quickly go over what the tier list is. So for the tier list, as we have a look here, as I'll just scroll up a little bit. Actually, I'll just leave it here. Tier list here. So we've got all the 18 clubs here below. Excellent. And it goes by your round performance, in my opinion. So you've got excellent, contenders, decent, disappointing, and 5am St Kilda Beach. Without further ado, let's get into the rankings for each team from their round 9. It was round 9, wasn't it? I'm struggling to keep up with what round it is because opening rounds just throw me off. But yeah, let's talk about their each team and rank their round 9 performance, starting off with the Thursday night clash. Let's go. So obviously Thursday night clash was also a close game. It was Fremantle hosting the Collingwood Magpies at Optus Stadium, and it was the Magpies who did get this job done by 14 points in the end, 12-11-83, defeated by 15-7-97. We saw Josh Tracy kick 2 in the first quarter. I thought he was in for a really big game, but shout out to the key defenders down there, probably a mix of Darcy Moore and Billy Frampton for Collingwood. Patrick Voss is someone I really like. He kicked 2. He brings a lot of live wire energy to the Fremantle team. I'm still, Essendon supporters, I'm wondering why you got rid of Patrick Voss, because I think he's such a good player. He's just a player that you know is going to have a crack. And that's the type of player you need on your list. Someone who's got to give it 110% every time and attack. A key forward who's going to hit every contest at 100 miles an hour and just go. And he's got some really good hands too. And geez, hasn't he got some good celebrations? So I'm wondering, although Essendon are looking all right now, were you guys surprised as Essendon supporters that Patrick Voss was delisted? Now Freo have got him. I think he suited him really well to Freo as an extra dynamic now with Sean Darcy going down with an injury. To be able to play second ruck to Luke Jackson as well as up forward, I really like Patrick Voss. Multiple goal kickers for the Pies. We had Jamie Alley, who's in some hot form as of late, kicked 6. Bobby Hill kicked 3. And Jack Chris responded after missing the game-winning goal last week, kicking the 2. He was exceptional. As for disposals, Andy Brayshaw had 34, 88% efficiency, 1 goal, 6 tackles. Clark had 32, 8 marks and 8 intercepts. I just would love to see Clark use his run, his speed and run off the half-back line a bit more. We've said it. It's the constant debate about Fremantle, why they're so boring with the ball. I'd love them to give the keys to Clark to back himself in because we know the speed that he possesses. I'd love to just be able to break the lines and open up the game, especially without the likes of Hayden Young in the side for the rest of the remaining of the season now. I'd just love to see him give the keys a bit more to Jordan Clark there. Ryan had 30, going to 80% efficiency, 12 marks, 7 intercepts. Bolton was live wire, played a bit more midfield time, had 28 disposals, got on the goal, 9 clearances and 7 inside 50s. Looked to take the game, break the game open and possibly be the reason why Fremantle won in the end, but wasn't to be, but he was exceptional. Sarong had 25, 7 clearances. As for the Pies, Chris was enormous with 29 disposals, 18 contested, 2 goals, 7 clearances, 6 tackles and 709 metres gained. I haven't got. Oh, is this an old? I'm just trying to think. Is this a doc? Because I was working on this doc earlier, but it hasn't seemed to refresh. Pardon me. I'm just going to do a little break in the episode for a second. All right, we're back. We just had to do a little bit of refresh. I don't know why it wasn't appearing earlier, but we are back with the talking points that were there. Just was a bit confusing there, but Freo dominated the territory battle, and they'll be disappointed that they let this game go away but it was the Pies who were just more efficient inside 450. That was all it was at the end of the day. But other than that, Freo really dominated play, dominated inside 50s, 62-34. To have 62-34 inside 50s and to only convert to kick 12 goals, 11 compared to, 34 inside 50s for the Pies, and they had 22 scoring shots. That is enormous for the Pies. Great accuracy, but Freo will be disappointed that they let that one go away when they go back and look at the stat sheet. Corey Wagner was the surprising one. Actually had the job on Nick Dacos and was absolutely really good on him. He kept him to 18 disposals and a goal. Nick Dacos, they have a 9-day break now, the Pies. But he may come under an injury cloud. He was struggling a bit with his hip area. So interesting to see there. They said they will keep a close eye on him. But I thought the time when Nick Dacos went forward in the second quarter, Wagner just couldn't go with him, and he looked so dangerous. Is that something they can start to manipulate a bit more, spending Dacos more time inside forward 50 when he's getting tagged? Because I know how often he can do it, but it was just his smartness around the ball that Wagner couldn't go in when he goes forward. By all means, when it got to the midfield, Wagner did a magnificent job limiting his effect, but he just couldn't go with him, so they had to put Jordan Clark on him. And realistically, you'd want Jordan Clark, as I said, run. You don't really want him playing as a lockdown defender. So it's probably just an interesting one to watch, and we'll see how Nick Dacos pulls up coming into the game. I said Shea Bolton was a live wire, spending more time in the midfield. Just had that dash back that we know. I had him as a top 10 player in the competition at one point when he was playing for Richmond a couple of years ago. Probably lost that a little bit. Started off a bit slow, but really these last months has started to find his feet, getting used to the way Freo have been playing. So I've been really impressed with Shea Bolton. Lockie Schultz concussion. Why wasn't the play stopped? Scott Pennery was asked about this post-game. Why wasn't the game stopped? He clearly was out. Once you see someone do like the starfish, hands out, you know they're in a bit of trouble, but they let the game play on and then he ended up running off himself, but he got up, he stumbled. I'd just like to see, especially with the concussion, that AFL's already in trouble with concussion, with the amount of lawsuits coming their way. That was not we know, let's not play dumb AFL. We know you're in people's earpiece, the umpires, telling them what to do. Someone from upstairs should have said, stop play. Because they're already in enough trouble, and that is not a great look. So it was just an interesting one, but prayers out to Lockie Schultz, the concussion. It was a decent hit. No trouble. It was nothing, no malice in the hit. It was just a clash of heads and just an unlucky football situation. We mentioned Sean Darcy got the ground in the third quarter with knee soreness, so this is where Luke Jackson can shine. I don't know how they're going to work out when Darcy's back playing the two rucks together. But yeah, this is where Luke Jackson shines as the number one ruck, playing a bit more time around the ball. But I reckon the second ruck will go to Patrick Voss, and I'm interested to see how that looks because, as I mentioned, I'm a big fan of Patrick Voss. But as for the rankings, Koning would have to go in excellent to have 22 scoring shots out of 34 inside 50s is enormous. So they go in excellent to pulling that off, especially with resting 4 players: Jordan Goey, Scott Pennery, Scott Pennery, Braden Maynard, and there is one slip in my mind: Jordan Goey, Braden Maynard, Scott Pennery. Was it Jeremy Howe? I think it might have been Jeremy Howe. But yeah, so they have to go in it. And Freo, they have to go in contenders, but they want to be able to fix that inside 50 work going into next week. Then we move over to Friday night, and it was St Kilda v Carlton, the MCG. Unfamiliar siding, playing style for St Kilda, playing the MCG for a home game, but can't be open Friday night in Marvel, let's be honest, especially when it's going up against Carlton. You know they bring in the crowds. And it was Carlton who got the job done by 15 points, 9-8-62, defeated by 11-11-77. Filippo in his return game was solid, kicking the 2. Sharman kicked 2 and Higgins kicked 2. As for Carlton, Curnow and Mackay all kicked 3. Young kicked 2 as well. Disposals-wise, Wanganeen-Milera had 30, 679 metres gain. Is still the most needed contract. Forget Tom the Koning. Wanganeen-Milera is your number one option at the moment, I believe. Sinclair had 26 at 81% efficiency and a goal as well. As for the Carlton, this man keeps on delivering. George Hewitt, 26 disposals, 6 clearances and 9 score moments, while Paddy Cripps had 26, 15 contested, 8 clearances and 10 tackles as well. But it was more than just a game. It was Spud's game. Daniel Frawley, obviously a legend of the St Kilda Football Club, in the team of, believe he's in the team of the century. Magnificent fullback, but a magnificent figure as well. Captain for a while. Funny man on Fox Footy with his dribble. Dribble fault. That's Chief Dunsel. Sorry, with his golden fist and just his antics. Then on Triple M, some of the best moments you'll ever see. Go back and watch some of his antics on Triple M if you ever had the chance. They repost it regularly, especially the makeup story. That's so funny. It's all about speaking up when people have mental health. That's the reason why Spud is no longer with us anymore due to a battle with mental health. So it's not weak to speak. At the end of the day, if you need trouble, please do seek help. So it's really good we're showing some initiative going in towards then. But Harry Mackay's back. And on another note, between mental health, one who's coming out on the other side at the moment and looks like he's just loving his footy is Harry Mackay. He's back. I'll say he's back and he's thriving. 3 goals. He kicked 19 disposals and took the 10 marks. It's really good to see in such a crucial game too, like Spud's game, with the struggles that Harry Mackay has had this season so far. To come out and perform in a game like that was absolutely great to see. Carlton were exceptional rallying after the injury chaos. Like, they had injuries all over the park. They had one fit player on the bench at halftime. That you don't much hear that. Sometimes you do hear that going into the last quarter, but you don't hear it at halftime. Because you had Mitch McGovern go off, Blake Acres, Lockie Cowan, and Nick Haynes. Haynes and Acres were able to return to the field eventually, though. And as I mentioned, Mateo Phillips returned from fracture in his femur for his first game of the season and was solid. 12 disposals, 7 contested, and 2 goals. Spent a bit more time of half forward, but I'll imagine they'll start to interject him into the midfield as he gets some more games into him as the season goes on. As for the rankings, St Kilda, where are you? St Kilda are right here. Let me just go up a bit more. No, down, sorry. St Kilda. I'm going to have to put St Kilda. It was decent. It was nothing out of this world. And Carlton, just purely for the fact that what they were doing, contenders, because the bench and the injuries that they were going over, I think they have to go in contenders. Now, Saturday, we start off the game with Melbourne v Hawthorn, and wasn't a bit more of a closer spectacle than some might have imagined. Melbourne v Hawthorn at the MCG, 7 goals, 14-56. Melbourne defeated by the Hawks, 13-13, 91, 35 points. Goal kickers for the Demons. You had Langford with 3. We'll touch on him soon. Pickett with 2 as well. As for the Hawks, Gunston with 3 and Watson and Chol with 2. Disposals, you had Bowie for Melbourne with 28. He's having a really good start to the year at 89% efficiency and 587 metres game, while Petrarca was really good as well. 26 disposals, 5 tackles, 10 inside 50s and 536 metres gain. As we go over to the Hawthorn side, Warple was huge. 28 disposals, 6 clearances, 10 tackles, 7 score moments. D'Ambrosio had 26, going at 85% efficiency and 594 metres gain. Jeff backed up his career top disposals last year of 32, I believe it was, with another solid performance at the half-back line. He had 25 again at 80% efficiency, 9 marks, 12 intercepts and 9 score rolls. Good to see CJ back in some form. After some injury worries the past 2 years, it's good to see him back. But Harvey Langford's a serious player, and there is no reason why he could not win the Rising Star Award this year. He had 3 goals go at 22 disposals. We love something in the game that's always good. It's the big body midfielder, but it's the midfielder that can impact the scoreboard. And Harvey Langford is showing that when he went forward, he took some really, really good and smart contested one-on-one marks, using his body really well. What he lacks in speed, which was what was some of the knock on him during his draft year. He does not lack in his running capability, meaning distance covered, how often he can run out games. He's just an absolute. I think he's a future star of the competition. He will play more centre bounce times goes forward, but He just reminds me, he reminds me of that like Marcus Bontempelli type. 22 disposals, 3 goals. If you can continue doing that, he's a bigger body. As I mentioned, I'm really excited to see Harvey Langford possibly win the Rising Star this year and moving forward the next few years, hopefully being one of Melbourne's most influential players. Mentioned CJ, when the game was on the line, guess who stood up? The man who's in form at 34 years of age, I believe he is. Let's just double check that for a second. It's 34 or 35. I've wrote him off. Wait, when's his birthday? Never mind. Let me wash my mouth out. 33 years of age. Jack Gunston's the one who stands up. Kicked all of his 3 goals, all in the last quarter, to take the game away from Melbourne, as they were well in the game until a last 8-minute spurt by the Hawks. A surprising move by Simon Goodwin, actually, when he sent Clayton Oliver to tag Jai Newcombe. He's on $1 million a year, one of your star midfielders, Clayton Oliver, and you sent him to tag. It was an interesting one. But Oliver was solid on him. He kept Newcombe to just 19 disposals and 4 clearances. We know how easily Newcombe can rack up disposals and impact getting it out to the runners, like a Josh Weddle type of thing coming off the half-back line, like a D'Ambrosio. He does all the hard grunt stuff. So be interesting to see if this was a one-off thing, if Clayton Oliver runs at one, or if Simon Goodwin gives Clayton Oliver another task until Jack Viney gets back. It'll be interesting to watch. As for, I'm still yet to put the Hawthorn in excellent yet. I don't think so. And Melbourne, it was a decent performance. They were in it until the last bit of the last quarter. And then Essendon v Sydney. At Marble Stadium, it was Essendon getting the job done. 11-5-71, defeating 8-15-63. Nate Caddy is looking like he's really starting to come on as a young player. We know how much young key forwards take to develop, but he's looking like he's starting to really capture in some form with the more games that he plays. That's such a key. The more games you blood into these forwards, you just back him in, and he's done really well, in my opinion. Nate Caddy, he kicked the 3. Merritt kicked 2. Dave Wicks kicked a goal on debut as well. As for the Swans, multiple goal kicker was Haywood with 2. But the one person who was everywhere for the Bombers was Nick Martin. He had 38 disposals, 10 rebound 50s, and 586 metres gain. Andy McGrath was not far behind him with 35 disposals at 80% efficiency, 11 marks, 17 steps, 9 rebound 50s, and 745 metres gain, which is interesting because most of the start of this year, McGrath's disposals has been down. He's been playing more of a lockdown role. Bobby Hill mentioned it. He's one of the hardest defenders he comes up on. So it's interesting to see him get the 35 disposals, go off. He's still locked down, but get off his man, because I think McGrath's such a damaging player by foot, and when he's on, it really delivers for the half-back line for Essendon. Mason Redmond also 32 disposals, going at 91% efficiency, a goal as well to go along with that. Setterfield through the middle at 28, 8 tackles. Archie Roberts 27 at 85% efficiency, and Reid does it again with a career high 27 disposals, 85% efficiency, 14 marks and 8 steps. As for Matt Roberts, he had 26. Warner looked to try and shape the game and was going to be if Sydney won, it was going to be off the back of Warner. He had 25, 17 contested, 7 clearances, 7 inside 50s and 8 score rollers. But the Bombers just hang on. Sydney were coming, but this was such an important win for Essendon. I think it showed their fight, determination, just hold on when it really mattered, because the Sydney were coming hard. James Jordan, came out firing and dominated the first half. I believe when I was listening to it, I was driving back from doing my commentary in Woori-Gallic, and I was listening to it on Triple M. And they were going off, so I was like, hang on a second. I'm about to stop off and get some dinner. So let me just check the score. I believe when I checked it, it was like 51-9 in the second quarter to Essendon. I absolutely couldn't believe it. But they came out fire, dominated the first half. James Jordan did a respectful job on skipper Zach Merritt, keeping to 19 disposals, but it was Merritt who injected himself, and I think the Essendon faithful helped him here too, like the players, into the game in the second quarter, pushing forward and kicking 2 goals in the quarter. But overall, I think James Jordan did a solid job on him. We mentioned Archie Day Weeks, but sad news for another debutant in Lewis Hayes, who's waited for his opportunity to play at AFL level for a while now. He left the ground in the third quarter with what seemed to be a serious knee injury, has now been confirmed that he's ruptured his ACL. So sad news for Lewis Hayes. He did look solid enough and has put together some solid VFL footy. Essendon got to go contenders the way that they came out and firing, especially in that first half. Swans, disappointing. Not quite 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, because they did come firing in the last. Okay, now we move over to Saturday night. what a two blockbuster games for your Saturday night. I was out for my brother's 21st, so I didn't get. But if you were home watching this, so I was watching it at the pub, but there's only so much you can watch at the pub too. But if you're sitting down watching this at your home on the couch Saturday night, what two blockbuster games? What better games could you ask for? We start off with Gold Coast v Brisbane. Gold Coast versus Western Bulldogs at TOO Stadium, and it was the Gold Coast Suns. Excuse my language. The Darwin Suns do it again, making their TOO Stadium a fortress for them. Winning by 10 points, 15-6, 106, defeating 14-12, 96. Ben King kicked 3, Graham, Holman, and Flanders all kicked 2. For the Bulldogs, Kennedy kicked 3, West, Vandermeer, and Davison all kicked the 2. Excuse me. As for disposals, Anderson had 28, 7 clearances. Miller, 25. He was Normans with 5 clearances, 6 tackles, 7 inside 50s, and 7 score involvements. Liberatore was huge in the midfield for the Bulldogs. 35 disposals, 10 clearances, 10 tackles, 7 inside 50s, and 11 score involvements, 694 metres gained. Dale off the half-back line, 31 disposals, 87% efficiency, 7 marks. 7 intercepts, 9 rebound 50s, and 652 metres gained. Ed Richards continues his stolid form, 31 disposals, a goal, 3 goal assists, 9 score involvements, and 810 metres gained. Just his running carry is so crucial. Bontempelli had 28, a goal, 6 clearances, and 8 score involvements. But the Darwin Suns continue, but with a scare as the Dogs fought back, trailing by 28 points midway through the last quarter. But they didn't go down without a fight, and it was Ben King who kicked the goal after the siren to push it out to 10 points. So it was 4 points prior to that, but the Bulldogs did not go down with a fight, and they can hold their head up high. So before I do anything, Gold Coast Suns can go in excellent, and in my opinion, I think the Bulldogs can go in excellent too. I thought that was an excellent performance, as we know how much of a fortress ground it is for the Gold Coast Suns, but I think they dominated the midfield battle. And I think they can go in excellent, only going down there. We mentioned Darwin's blah, blah, blah. So Gold Coast got off to a quick start, though. Kicked the first 4 of the 5 goals. One player I want to highlight for the Western Bulldogs is James O'Donnell. Now, he's had a hard task. I've been a hard critic on him, and I'm sure a lot of people have too. Was a cricket, had to choose out cricket and footy. Chose the footy route. In the end, came across. And now it's been given a tough job being like the number 1 man, as Beveros decided to leave Liam Jones out of the side now, and he stuck to James O'Donnell, and he's been solid ever since, and he was terrific down back. He had 18 disposals, got 89% efficiency, 11 marks, 12 intercepts, and 9 rebound 50. So that is definitely one to keep his eye on, as I think is a highlight for the Bulldogs in that loss. There was plenty of highlights, but I think that's just one you can definitely highlight, as I think he can sometimes be a whipping boy. Everyone's quick to criticise O'Donnell. I've heard it on numerous occasions. I think I've said it too. Didn't think he was quite up to it at some stages, but this is just put shit on my face in the end of the day, because he's come out and performed like that, and he's been solid the last 2 or 3 weeks. Now we go over to the Showdown, and what a game this was at the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide v Adelaide, and it was the Crows get the job done by 5 points. Port Adelaide 12-12, 84, defeated by 13-11, 89. Goal kickers Finlayson kicked 3, Georgiades, Burn-Jones, and Pau Pepper kicked 2. As for the Crows, Fogarty and Thilthorpe kicked 3, Keys, Rankin, and Rochelle all kicked 2. Disposal-wise, Butters had 33 and 10 clearances. Rosie, 32, a goal, 7 inside 50, 7 score runs, and 684 metres gained, and also won the Showdown medal. We'll touch on that in a second. Wines had 31 and 10 clearances. The player just dominated the midfield battle. And the highest disposal getter for the Crows was James Peatling with 24 disposals, 12 tackles, and 5 clearances. The Showdown needs to be a standalone game. There's no ifs, buts, maybes about it. Next season, I want to see it be a Friday night standalone game. The atmosphere is there. We know how much they hate each other, and it's a 2-team town. And with both teams, that whenever they come together, they always put on a show. When you got the likes of Isaac Rankin out there, Connor Rosie, Zach Butters, Jordan Dawson, Riley Thilthorpe out forward, this should be a stand-alone game. Adelaide Oval is a beautiful spot to watch the footy at too. So I think it should be a standalone game. But what are you guys' thoughts on Connor Rosie winning the Showdown medal in a losing side? He was phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but it's always interesting to see when, as I fill up my water as we talk, it's always interesting to see when a losing side has a best on ground medal. We've seen it with Nathan Buckley win a Norm Smith medal in a losing grand final side. We've seen it with Lenny Hayes in a drawn side. So it's always interesting, but no credit to him. I just thought the next highest ranked player or next highest voted player for the game was Riley Thilthorpe. So it'll be interesting to see, hear you guys' thoughts, because Riley Thilthorpe was holding on to everything. Three kicked for 3 goals, 15 disposals, but took a whopping 10 marks. He's just building and building. He could potentially in the next year or so be the best key forward in the competition. But the one who saved the day was the Irishman in Mark Keane. What a courageous mark in the last minute of the game there was. Now, I get it. Dying stage of the game, you just got to go. But let's not beat around the bush. Not everyone is going to do that, and not everyone is going to be able to hold on to that. He's put himself back into traffic, not knowing what's coming the other way, and just said, stuff it. Game's on the line, showdown, I'm going to go for it. Not everyone has the capability to do that. So hats off to Mark Keane, because I think that can sometimes get underplayed, how good of a mark it is in the moment. So the Adelaide Crows, okay, well, I think they both have to go in contenders. I don't think either of them can go into excellent, because the fact is Adelaide Crows won it, yeah, but they got smashed around the ball. Port Adelaide lost, but they smashed in the midfield battle. So I think they both can go in contenders, and that's fair. It's only a 5-point margin in the end anyway. As we move over to Sunday, surprisingly to be one of the games of the round as well, Richmond v West Coast, and it was the Tigers registering their 3rd win of the season. Some people had them not even winning a game, but it's round 9, they've already registered their 3rd. Beating the West Coast Eagles by 2 points, 11-15-81, defeated 11-13-79. Tom Lynch was enormous, kicked the 2, but also had 19 disposals, just settles that young Richmond forward line when he plays, when he's not getting suspended, that is. Mansell and Campbell also kicked 2. As for the West Coast Eagles, Cripps kicked 2. Owies and Bally Williams also kicked 2. Disposals-wise, Sam Banks led the way with 28 disposals, 89% efficiency and 660 metres gained. Taranto was his normal Taranto self, 27 disposals, 16 contested, a goal and 7 clearances. And Hopper had 24, 15 contested and 7 clearances. As for the Eagles, Ryan Marriage led the way, 25 disposals, 80% efficiency. Tigers get it done in a thriller, and thanks to a game-saving chase-down tackle from Tom Brown on Tom Gross in the dying stages of the game as they were going inside 450. Now, we saw how honest he was in the post-game interview where he said he missed the spoil. What was I? Chin the mic there. He missed the spoil going in the middle of the ground, so he said, I had to go, or that was going to be clipped up, and I was probably going to be dropped, or at least slammed for most of the week. So to be able to switch yourself off that, knowing that you've missed such a crucial contest and not been able to impact it, to turn back around and impact it like that and save the game for your team is hats off to Tom Brown. Tigers were starting to look like to take control of the game early. They kicked the first 3 goals of the game, but then the Eagles came out and kicked 4 unanswered goals. And as I was watching this, I was like, geez, we could have a game on here. And a game on here we did have. Richmond debutant Tom Sims took a strong contested mark and then went back and kicked his first AFL career goal. It was actually really impressive marks. It was really good to see. Harley Reid was also better and looked good at times. 18 disposals, a goal, 4 clearances, and 6 score rolls. It was good to see him start the game in the centre bounce, but it was also interesting to see Liam Ryan in the first centre bounce. So that was an interesting sight. But as for the rankings, Richmond, now Richmond can go in, I think that Richmond can go in excellent, I think, and Eagles can go in contenders just for that performance. That was out of this world. Now we go to my favourite game of the round. Geelong and GWS. 14-17, 101. Geelong were defeated by GWS again at GMHBA Stadium, and they make it 5 in a row at the venue, which is supposed to be an unwinnable game when you play the Cats down there. The Giants have done it 5 times in a row now. 16-9, 105, got home by 4 points. Goal kickers for the Cats. Stengel kicked 2, Cameron kicked 2, Dempsey and Mano also kicked 2. This bloke dominated. Hogan with 7, Stringer also with 2. As for disposals, Bailey Smith continues his form. 35 disposals, 10 tackles, 2 goal assists, 12 score robbers, and 704 metres gain. Holmes back in the midfield instead of playing. He was starting to play a bit off half back. Now back to the midfield. 30 disposals, 6 clearances, 5 tackles, 7 inside 50s, 14 score robbers is a big key there, and 710 metres gain. Tom Green did not disappoint in his 100th game. 37 disposals, a goal, 6 clearances, and 11 score involvements. That's the key one I want to see. Tom Green getting those more score on. So that was really good to see. And what a goal it was he kicked on the boundary, tucked up with a set shot, about 45, 50 out. That'll be a special moment he'll remember. Not only the win in his 100th, but that goal and that moment and his performance in general. Whitfield was next, 30 at 83% efficiency. Callahan was enormous, 29 and 7 tackles. Ash also continues his form of 25 at 92% efficiency. Hogan dominated with 7 goals and 22 disposals. Now, everyone keeps saying Charlie Curnow this, Charlie Curnow that. Respectfully, screw Charlie Curnow. Jesse Hogan's the best number 1 key forward in the comp. And it's not even close. It is not even close. He's the best player in the comp. He's the best one-on-one mark. Good luck stopping him one-on-one. But yeah, I think it's easily, without a doubt, and he's the reason they won this. 22 disposals as well is enormous. He's such an accurate kicker goal. He has a unique style to stutter step, running in, the way he runs in, stutter step. But it's consistent, it's accurate, and he found plenty of the ball as well. He's so hard to beat in a one-on-one contest, so he is, without a doubt, the number 1 forward in the competition. Giants got off to we mentioned Tom Green. Giants got off to a fast start, kicking 5 of the first 6 goals, slicing through the Cats. And this was off the back of the whole game performance there by Finn Callahan, whose running, carry, and penetrating kick constantly sliced the Cats open. Jake Stringer started off the game well too, kicking 2 goals before he was subbed out with a hamstring injury. So it was a shame to see Jake Stringer, who was starting to look good, kicking too early. As for performances, they can both go in excellent, because what a spectacle that was to watch. Now for the last game of the round, and it was the first tie of the season, and the game you wouldn't expect to be a tie was a tie. North Melbourne, it was first on the ladder versus 17th from the ladder. It was the Basti Cup. Shout out to Ryan Bastanak. I know he's been posting. Everyone's been giving him a bit of shit, but I love the way he just rides it. He gives no crap. He's just riding it. He's calling it the Basti Cup. He made his own medal. He's made his own trophy. Former guest of the show. Shout out to Ryan Bastanak. All love there. I love the way that he's just ridden it. He doesn't give a crap. He's just loving you, that you're talking about him. And why not when he's getting that exposure? But 10-11-71 apiece. Goal kicker Zerha Darling all kicked 2. Hipwood and Rayner kicked 3 for the Lions. Zorko had 39, going at 85% efficiency, and 781 metres gained. McCluggage had 27 with 10 tackles. Dunkley had 27, 15 contested, 10 clearances, 8 tackles, and 8 scorer bombers. Will Ashcroft had 26, and Jasper Fletcher. I nearly called him Joel Fletcher, the DJ. Jasper Fletcher had 25 disposals. As for the Kangaroos, Davis Uniacke, 32 disposals, 5 clearances, and Harry Sheasel, 29 and 8 rebound 50s. Now, the first draw of the season, but the Kangaroos had a chance to win. We saw Zerha miss late in the game, but they could have won. Someone who was really good throughout the whole day, but someone who I was really impressed with, who took the game on, was Charlie Comben. In the dying moments, in the last 2 minutes of the game, I think it was in the last minute and a half, he took 2 intercept marks when the Lions tried to push forward. And then he was not... The part that was so impressive, he could have just been like, I don't want to be the one... If I take this kick on, I don't want to be the one who costs the team the game. He said, screw it. I'm here to win. I'd rather lose trying to win. I'd rather lose trying to win than just not worry about not wanting to lose. And he took on that kick to the fat side, opened up the play, and they streamed forward. But it was Jack Payne who got in that spoil unlucky, really good spoil that really stopped it. But shout out to Charlie Comben. He was exceptional all day as well. 21 disposals he finished with, 95% efficiency, 9 marks and 12 intercepts. The Lions lost Jared Berry in the first quarter when he was subbed off with a concussion after a heavy collision with North Melbourne's Luke McDonald off the ball. They're saying there might be some MRO trouble, but I don't understand how he could be. It was like he didn't even know he was there. He kind of had eyes on the balls and he looked and it happened to be there. So I'll be surprised if something comes of that. But yeah, it was an interesting game. Shout out to the Kangaroos. I think it's coming. It's very soon. But the Brisbane Lions were well off. And it was great to see, as I mentioned with the Charlie Comben, Jai Simpkins post-game press conference when he was saying, that's the mantra. We'd rather we'd rather lose trying to win than because if we'd rather lose trying to win. I can't remember the exact words he said, but it was around that thing. So it was hats off to Charlie Comben. He'd rather lose trying to win than just kick a ball up the line, which could have been turned over anyway. Pretty much what he said. So he'd rather go down swinging. It didn't happen in the end, but it happened to be a tour. So for that performance, I'm going to give the Kangaroos decent, but I'm going to give the Brisbane Lions. I'm going to give the Kangaroos contenders, but I'm going to give the Brisbane Lions disappointing. I think that's fair enough. They were quite poor. Oh. Part of me wants to give him decent. Now, I'm just having a look here. I'll give him decent, but it wasn't something they can ride home about, is what I'll say. No one in the 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach category this week. So let's go over. We'll come back and have a look at what the rankings are at the end. We'll go over a refresher, but let's quickly, shout out Connor, let's quickly go over the Supercoach rankings for the round. And if you listen to this now, it's official. We knew it. We knew that it was possible. It was news was broken on Saturday, but to go to cricket, it is official that Virat Kohli has retired from Test cricket. What a magnificent player he was, a 36-year-old. Best batter in the country for a long time. In the world, for a long time. He finishes his Test career with 9,230 runs at an average of 46.85 for 130 tests, behind only legendary batter Sachin Tendulkar, who had 15,921. Rahul Dravid, 13,265, and Sunil Gavaskar, 10,122. So he's got the fourth most Test runs ever for India. So shout out to Virat Kohli on a great career. He's gave headaches for Aussies in other countries all around the world, but he's also been great to watch. Nothing better than watching Kohli straight drive or drive a ball through covers. Just absolutely textbook. But we'll go over to the Supercoach now. I just saw it pop up, so I thought I'd click the notification. First, we'll go over and see. I'll go over the we'll go over who had the highest score, and then we'll go over how the leaderboard's looking. So the Up the Gut Comp's highest score round for this week, as I have a look, I'm saying a 2-5. It is last year's winner, the Wizard, Riley Wordsling, who's currently sitting in third place. He scored 2,518. Condolences out to Pine Guinea Joel, who also scored 2,502, but happened to come up against the Wizard. So if we ever have a look now at the rankings for the competition, here we go. On top of the leaderboard, it is Bailey Sniff. Then we have Connor with Dad Kiss Up, Riley with Wizard, Luke with Newcomb 23, Maverick with Mavs Team, Joel with Pine Guinea, myself in 7th, 8th is Zach's In It to Win It, 9th is Paul with Dallas Domination, 10th is Brees with Sinclair. He's gone on the bounce and 1-2 now. He's gone up 3 places. Oh, it tells you here. Okay, so he's gone up 3. So the top 8 have stayed the same. Dallas Domination's gone up 2 spots to 9th. Sinclair Brees has gone up 3 spots to join 10th, so that's a big jump for him. Dylan's Churches of Parish has dropped 2 spots to 11th. Aiden's Max Zerich dropped 2 spots to 12th. Chris's Ginnivan Tomics dropped 1 spot to 13th. And Hock Tour Wolves has stayed in the bottom spot. So there's those rankings. There you are, Connor. We get it. You're in second spot. We get it. Where's your win-loss? And you're 7-1. But top of the ladder, Bailey Sniff, Jamie, shout out to him, yet to drop a game. So now let's quickly go back and have a look at how I ranked everyone's performance in round 9. In the excellent category, I've got the Collingwood, Gold Coast Suns, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants. I thought I had that on Do Not Disturb. Western Bulldogs, GWS, Geelong, and... sorry, that distracted me, the notification. Collingwood, excellent category. Collingwood, Gold Coast, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Geelong, and Richmond. Contenders, Fremantle, Carlton, Hawthorn, Essendon, Adelaide, Port Adelaide, West Coast, North Melbourne. Decent, I got St Kilda, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Geez, you're on thin ice there, Brisbane. I was so close to put you in disappointing. But in the disappointing carry, standing alone, is the Sydney Swans. Well, there you have it, guys. There's going to wrap up another episode here on the Up the Guts podcast, the review episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a like on this episode. I believe you can comment too. I don't know if you can like it. No, I think you can like. Anyways, like the show, turn your notification bells and hit the follow button and leave a 5-star rating. The most important part that helps get the show out there. If you're listening to this on YouTube, like and comment on this video. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all our content. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.